I want to hit on something that Landon Tengwall, former Penn State offensive lineman, does a great job covering the Big Ten and Penn State, just hit on in our last segment, and that is the intestinal fortitude of Penn State's starting quarterback this year. I think, and Drew, I hope you're not watching. If I were you, I wouldn't watch any content about you because I think all of it has been very consistent, Jake. This kid has every talent dripping from his eyeballs, his earlobes. I mean, the talent on this kid, arm talent, leg talent, whatever kind of talent he has, he has it. But the heart, right? The hustle. And I'm a Penn State fan who has seen Trace McSorley, who has seen Sean Clifford, who has seen Michael Robinson go from not a lot of quarterback talent to, high heights, New Year's Day bowl games, playing way above what the expectation is for the amount of talent you have at the most important position. Where Drew Aller's kind of been the opposite, and we just confirmed it with a guy who played with him, who knows him, that there is just something missing between the ears, that when the going gets tough, he does not get going. And that is a big problem for Penn State because the expectations are sky high this year.
I mean, Jared, don't even get me started on living through horrible quarterback years. You are talking to somebody who lived through Wes Lunt, Chase Crouch, Jeff George Jr., and Brandon Peters. Like, I've lived through some horrible, horrible times with quarterbacks at the University of Illinois. But I think you're right. It's just, and it kind of is why Drew Aller and James Franklin almost marry so perfectly together, because it's called Big Game James for a reason. And then Drew Aller does stuff like he did at the end of the Notre Dame game and the college football playoff last year, where you just lose. So I get the hype, I get the talent, I get why people want to bet them this year. For me, I'm way good. I'm willing to lose a little bit of hashtag value by watching a couple games of this team first and just seeing if they can take care of and beat the teams they're supposed to by a big margin when they're going to be huge favorites. And then when they play better competition, stiffer competition, if they rise to the challenge or if they crumble. And I'm willing to wait and see what happens first before I put my money there, because more money is more fun than less money.
I agree. And even as the staunchest of Penn State fans, I can't bring myself to bet on them in the futures market. Am I going to bet on them as a favorite this year to cover a bunch of games? Probably. That's exactly what James loves to do. That's exactly what Penn State loves to do. This team is loaded. Make no mistake about it. This team is absolutely loaded. Landon was being, I would say he was being kind to the offensive line. Like, this is I would say maybe a little bit, modest, I think is really the word. The offensive line is going to be the strength of the team. It is an elite offensive line. The defensive line is always good. I think the scheme might take some time, but Knowles is a wizard. The receivers they brought in, Pena and Hudson, the kid from USC, I mean, these guys are rock stars. And then, of course, I don't even need to mention the running game. You have two potential All-Americans, two guys that have been with the program now for 4 years. I think it's really all on Drew. I don't even I always push back on people when they say, oh, well, James Franklin's never won the big game. Yeah, but he's always had the worst team. He's always had the worst roster in those games. So you give him a pass. Now, to be fair, great coaches can elevate average talent and achieve above average things. That's not James Franklin. He is going to coach to the ceiling of his talent. But this year, that ceiling is higher than it's ever been before, which means the expectations are higher, but I'm still not buying the Drew Aller hype. In fact, the last film study I'm going to do before the college football season starts in earnest next week, reluctantly, I've been waiting till the very end because I knew it was going to pain me.
You've been pushing it off.
Was to dig back into the Notre Dame game. I was there for that chaos. And it was an absolute, I mean, it was an arrow in the heart to battle Notre Dame tooth and nail. And I play this scenario out in my head, Jake, every week. They would have had a second chance to play Ohio State. And that game was close. I know it was in Happy Valley, but that game was close. The first run around, I think it was like 2 months prior to when the national championship would have been. I rack my head around what would have happened if Penn State had that set. Now, they probably would have lost, but I wanted to see it happen. And maybe they get back to that point this year. Maybe not. Who knows? The ball is oddly shaped. It bounces in funny ways. I want to follow up with you on one question about Illinois, because you mentioned the quarterback woes that you guys have had.
Ugh.
What situation
nice
would you You're right. What situation would you rather be in? Would you rather have the top tier 5-star blue chip quarterback that is a pushover, or would you rather have the 3-star gritty, gutty quarterback that doesn't have the talent, but he will run through a brick wall for your team and inspire your teammates to run through a brick wall? What's the situation you'd rather be in?
I mean, this isn't a debate to me, Jared. The wins. I'd rather have the wins. What are we talking about here? I get it. Like, you get the fan favorites. You get the guys that everybody likes to rally around and the fans love. And they're like, oh, but he wears it on his sleeve. Okay. You know what else he does? Sucks. Like, I'd much rather have the wins. If anybody's out there, if there's an Illinois fan out there saying, bring back Wes Lunt, bring back Chase Crouch, hit my line at Jake_Hassan, because I will fight you tooth and nail on that. Like, that's an insane take. Winning is much better than losing. And as Illinois fans this year, you're lucky because Luke Altmaier loves the program. He is on both ends of the spectrum. Like, he wants to lay his life on the line for this team, and he loves this team. But yeah, the wins, Jared. Obviously, we're taking the wins.
Yeah, I agree.